We are orphans, and we ask you kindly to show us how you live. In turn, we will show you our life and how we live. I would like to be healthy. That is all I ask for. I want to learn a lot so I can know and love God.
Someday I will be president.
The fabric of the Rwandan family was for centuries woven strong. In 1994, however, that fabric was brutally torn by genocide and bloodbath. The burden of mending that fabric and taking care of orphaned children now rests mainly on women. In fact, many have called post-war Rwanda a country of women. 70% of the population are female, and of that, close to 1/7 of Rwanda's inhabitants are widows.
The reality of the matter is that there are many widows. All say there are families totally comprised of orphans, where the oldest boy or girl substitutes the father in the household. One-third of this town's population survived the war. Those that remain have been greatly touched and scarred spiritually and psychologically, because they lived through these very tough times. They saw the horror personally.
The toll the genocide has taken is clearly seen during Holy Mass. In churches throughout the country, most of the faces turn towards the altar are female. Rwanda's Catholic bishops have recognized the enormous task of administering consolation to these faithful. It is important for the widows in the community not to feel abandoned and to form a sense of solidarity that can overpower their isolation.
We want the widows to find their own place in the pastoral service of the Church, inside its community. Our diocese, among others, has created a commission dealing with the pastoral mission among widows and the families that these widows look after. In the Viumba parish, there are over 500 organized families run by widows. The families are organized into groups which carry out various projects such as community farming and the purchase and upkeep of livestock. Currently, one of the projects is expecting assistance from an agronomist who will manage their work. We are searching for additional funds for the purchase of cattle, pigs and goats, needed to complete their project. This hopefully will pull them out of their poverty.
The members of our women's organization have different histories. Some of us lost our husbands through natural death, and others were widowed during the war of 1994. We have daughters with children who never married. Fate has touched them dearly, and they remain in their parents' homes. Some of the women have spouses who are in jail. We wanted to leave our isolation and come together. It has brought about positive results, and that is why we are together to this day.
C'est une association composée pour la plupart des veuves.
This association is mostly comprised of widows from various circumstances. These women have come together, taking example from the St. Boniface Institute, which helps them unite so they do not remain isolated in their own family.
Bon, alors, comme encadrés par des religieuses,
they not only listen to the word of God and pray together, but they also work in the fields together and learn various handy trades like tailoring. Our pastoral mission is not easy. There are widows with and without children. Nonetheless, there is solidarity among them, thanks to the fact that they come together regularly. They visit each other in the villages to celebrate a joyous occasion, or when one of them is struck with hardship, such as a death in the family or sickness.
Par exemple, quand on perd une personne dans la famille, vous avez un entourage qui se réunit pour vous conforter, vous réconforter.
Another great challenge facing Rwanda today is how to care for its massive population of orphans. According to the UNICEF office in Rwanda, there are more than 1 million orphans in the country. Since the genocide, it is common to see older children raising their younger siblings. The orphanages that exist have few resources. The task of aiding Rwanda's orphans has largely fallen on local churches and their members.
After the genocide, we as mothers, and especially as Catholics, felt that we should reach beyond our own families to these orphans, who remain in such number all around us. Initially, we wanted to adopt one child per family, and that is what each mother did. Then we realized that there were only 30 mothers who could adopt, but over 200 orphans just in these hills. We formed an association, and together, even if we can't adopt a child into our family, we can still aid them as much as possible through the association. These African children have seen the horrors of genocide and AIDS. Many remain alone. When we came, the children regained a sense of joy. They ask us to help them in school. When they have a problem, they come to us. When we are together, we teach them to sing and dance. We don't want them to be sad. We also tell them not to sit around too much, but to work hard in life and in their studies.
On the outskirts of the town, the youth who have grown under the care of these women tend a small fish pond. The regular crop puts food on their table and money in their pockets. The income created by the fish pond also supports the younger orphans growing under the wing of the women's organization.
We have this fish pond, which we tend to together with the older orphans, some in their 20s, some of them with their own children. We do this once a week. It is our way of accustoming them to physical labor. We don't receive any aid, but we manage with what we have.
These women, together with various humanitarian agencies, strive to guide the orphans to independence and adult life. Without any assistance, these children would be homeless and out in the streets. Therefore, to keep these children at home, we must provide them with basic daily needs and a place to learn and work. If we fail these orphans, they will leave to seek another life. The church in Rwanda cannot produce lasting fruit on its own. When I see the great number of orphans and widows, or even young couples who are struggling, I have to admit that we need help from beyond our borders.